Hi and welcome back to Kilroy Films. I'm James Kilroy, this is my channel, and I set up this channel to showcase my work. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I'm a hobbyist videographer that has recently decided that it's something I want to take a bit more seriously. So I wanted somewhere to showcase that work and do videos just like this basically. So I've got some things I did at the beginning of the middle of last year when we were able to go out and do things. It was all using this Canon M50. Which is an entry-level camera, mirrorless camera from Canon. And if you watch a couple of videos back, I do a comparison of this, and I've recently upgraded to the Canon EOS R, which I'm filming with now. And I haven't been able to do a project with that yet because, as I say, we're in tier 4 at the moment. But I thought, let's start putting some of the content I've done previously, even though it's not amazing, polished, professional content by my own admission. People I did it for are happy. I did it for free, obviously. I want to try and build a portfolio. I'm also experimenting with different types of video to see what I really enjoy doing or what I'm naturally good at, etc. So I'd really appreciate anybody that's got more experience than me, or anybody that hasn't and they just watched this video with me in a second, and just to tell me what you think. What do you think of this video? And I'll put a link in the description where you can actually go to the client's channel to watch it in full without me talking over the top of it as well, should you wish to do that. Before I get into it though, just wanted to say, if you did watch my video from last week, I just upgraded my light to the Godox VL150, and that's what I'm using here tonight. And the video is quite long, and I talked about it being super bright. I'm actually only on 10% power, so I was comparing it at the very end of that video to the ESDDI photographic studio softboxes that I've got at 50%, and I could see that it was much brighter than those, and you can't change the brightness on those. But having set it all up now and making sure I'm exposed what I think pretty well, let me know if you don't, I'm at 10% brightness, so it's amazing. It's an amazing light. I've got the huge softbox right here above me, slightly to the right. Anyway, yeah, I've got the remote control there, so you should be able to see. Yeah, look, 10%, there you go. Oh, the focus is going a bit askew, but hopefully get my face back with the glasses on. There we go. I'm good at waffling, I do apologise. So let's just get on with this video. This was for a client called Kelvin and Gary. They're a duo, they're musicians, and Kelvin Davis is the YouTube channel that you can go and jump and watch some of his videos. He does a lot of stuff himself with his phone, obviously fixed angle, fixed position, not much movement. I wanted to introduce them a bit of a story and help them out with making something a little bit more cinematic or dynamic. I use my gimbal. Let's not use all the excuses now, let's use some of the excuses once we get into the video. So here we go, let's start playing it. So from the off, I'm going to pause straight away. We've got title, I think that's okay. We've got an introduction setting the scene to where we actually filmed. Here they are walking along. Now straight away you can see the Canon M50, it's not a low light camera. I had a little Falcon Eyes F7 torch light with LED light with me. It's actually behind me at the moment, lighting the background up a bit orange. But yeah, I mean, you can see it reflecting in the shoes there and stuff, but you can see there's a lot of noise in the shot. Also, I noticed back there, I'm just gonna jump back, sorry. If I just go back a bit, yeah, you can see flickering in the lights on the pub or shop or whatever that is over Gary's shoulder. That's because I'm an idiot and I was using the Canon M50 on the NTSC video format. Here in the UK, we should be on the PAL system. So if you are in the UK and you're just playing around with one of these type of cameras for the first time and you can flick between NTSC and PAL, you should be in PAL really, because our lighting system, our electricity grid works on 50 Hertz. So if you're filming at 24 frames per second on NTSC, you will get that flicker. When you go to PAL, it only gives you the options of 25 frames per second and 50 frames per second. So you can't do 24, 30 or 60, but you can do 25 or 50, and that will eliminate that flicker from lights. Okay, sorry, let's get on with the video. So I'm setting a story, I'm setting a scene. They're walking to the shop that we've seen. This is where we're going to be making the video. You can see my light reflecting in the window there. This bit's terrible because this is 60 frames per second and it was very jerky because I probably didn't slow it down in the editing software correctly. I think if you're working on a 24 frames per second timeline and you shoot in 60 FPS, you need to slow it down by 40%. I probably didn't. I probably messed up there. You can see it was a bit jerky with him walking through the shop. Anyway, quite like these shots. Getting the guitar and the harmonica out of the boxes. Quite like this.
That morning, that's when I heard the news. My baby's left me crying here with you.
I'm going to stop again. I've got so much to say. The lighting, I quite like it, right? It's very dark and noisy in the background, but I think using the Falcon eyes again that I've got behind me now, with a purple colour, nice hair light on the guys behind them. I'm quite pleased with the lighting for this one. I just had one of the ESD DDI lights. You can see it's probably not quite bright enough on their faces, on the front of them, but I think it set a moody scene. Let me know what you think. I'm going to turn it down a bit actually.
Told me, man, I ain't ever gonna do you no wrong.
Awful gimbal move there. Jerky gimbal. Filming at 60 frames per second. I probably was on 24 actually on this point.
She's leaving town with another
Jerky. Let me just tell you, right, I didn't get a chance to scout out the location. This isn't excuses, this is just facts. And an opportunity to give advice and let people know this is how I've grown, this is what I know now to do moving forwards. So I arrived, it was about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, after we've all done a full day's work. It's in a guitar shop obviously, which I really like the background. You can see the guitars, the hair light that I set up and everything. I think that looks really nice. But the ceiling was really low. I didn't know where we were going to be filming. I had to set up once we got there. They'd already put their performance stools in position in the shop. I didn't feel confident enough to say, I don't like where they are, let's move them and stuff. And to be fair, the space that we had, there wasn't really anywhere else to move them, to be honest. So I just worked with exactly what was there. My advice is, get people, if you can't get to a location first, this is what I'll do from now on, and actually scope out that location and figure out in your head before the shoot day or the shoot evening where you're going to put the camera, where you're going to put the performers, to get them to take photos or a little video on their phone and just pan around slowly in the location to give you an idea of what it's going to be like before you get there, so you can have a plan in your head of what you're going to do. I kind of had to wing it a little bit, and this isn't anybody's fault other than my own. So yeah, and it was a very low ceiling and they're sat down on stools. So I did a lot of this kneeling and kind of swaying slowly with the gimbal, and then there'd be times when I, in my head, thought I need to go up a bit higher, and that's when that jerk introduces, because I'm going off my knees and trying to get up into a squat position, and yeah, that's why. There's another one right on cue. Now you can see here my autofocus, I remember this, is on Gary's hand more than his face. I mean, it's subjective whether you think that's a good shot or not, but it's the light. The light wasn't strong enough for my autofocus to pick up on his face, and it just picked up on his hand. And I guess a professional would say you should be using manual focus, but I haven't got a manual focus wheel for the gimbal, so you don't want to be touching your lens when it's on a gimbal. A little bit jerky again. I like the microphone, clearly. It's an expensive microphone, Kelvin did tell me that, so we tried to get that in as much as possible. That was a bit quick. I'll just say as well, I don't know if you've noticed, but the light, I only had one light, that hair light, and you might notice on shots on Gary it's behind Gary, and on shots on Kelvin it's behind Kelvin. So I'd watched some YouTube videos and learned about doing different takes. So I got the guys to do this 3 or 4 times. There was one take where I just concentrated solely on Gary the whole time. Even if Kelvin was singing and Gary wasn't doing anything, I was just filming around Gary and just swaying backwards and forwards and moving in and out. The lights behind him the whole time. And then another take, it was all on Kelvin. No matter what was going on, if Gary was playing the harmonica, it didn't matter, I was still on Kelvin. So I had those 2 tracks with the light behind, so it gives the perception of A, one whole take with multiple camera angles, multiple camera people, and two lights. I thought that was pretty cool. I remember this bit now. One of Kelvin's complaints were there wasn't enough of the guitar. Guitar's a big thing for him. And I did this bit, which I quite like actually. Hopefully you agree. And that was it. That's all I did on the guitar. And looking back at it now, there was a lot of Gary playing the harmonica for a big section where I could have possibly done some more guitar shots. You live and learn. I really like this shot though. There was the entrance into the upstairs of the music shop had this orange, I can't remember what it said on it. It's like a brand, one of the guitar brands, an orange light above the door, which is why I picked purple as the hair light, because I knew I was going to do a shot this way at some point, and I think purple and orange work well against each other as a contrast. I really like this shot. Let me know what you think. You can say that a lot. But again, it's quite jerky, wasn't it?
I can't forget that look in her eyes.
I really like that shot.
If I can't find my woman, then I'll
Gary just in focus, quite dark and moody. Kelvin out of focus behind him.
If I can't find my woman, then I'll never be satisfied. So if I can't find that woman, then I'll never be satisfied.
Don't know what happened there. And then we're into it. Trying to finish the story off, light going off in the shop, pan round. I remember thinking this was amazing. I quite like that ending shot, but it feels, now I'm watching it back all this time later, oh, what's that? It feels a little bit rushed, that last bit. It's because the end of the song hasn't got a long outro, but I probably should have got them thinking about it to just play a little bit longer with no singing, just to like finish it off a bit longer so we could do a bit more of a slow exit of the shop, because that felt a little bit rushed. But overall, I mean, that's the first time I ever did anything like that for a client. Just me and them, make a video for someone. I think my biggest criticism is the gimbal. If you get a gimbal, you need to practice. I mean, a lot of pros would probably say you don't even need a gimbal for something like that. You could just handhold. And I had a lot of movement in that, a lot of jerkiness, that it probably looks like it's handheld. You wouldn't believe that it's on a gimbal. So that's my personal biggest criticism. I can tell you that my gimbal skills have improved massively since then, and I certainly wouldn't go up and down from knees to standing up and keep that as a shot in a video. The reason that happened is because I didn't do enough takes. Even though I did one take of Kelvin, one take of Gary, I did a third take where I did some of those reveal shots, out of focus, into focus, from a little bit further back, but I couldn't really get far enough back because it was only a small shop, so it didn't feel like a wide shot. I should have done a couple more takes, to be honest, because there were mistakes in both takes that I just wasn't able to eliminate. I didn't have enough footage, so do more takes. I should have really, as well, just done a locked off tripod wide angle with them both in. That's what it misses as well. It's either focusing on one or the other the whole time. There are not any shots of them both full frame in the frame performing. So I think it misses that too. But I think overall, I mean, I'm being quite harsh on myself, which I should be. I want to get better, I want to improve, and I've told Kelvin when we can, I want to do another video with those guys, and all of those things I've just said, I'll improve on massively. Lighting, obviously I've got the Godox light now, my gimbal skills are loads better, I've got a better camera, I've got a better selection of lenses, I've got a better tripod as well, and I would know to do more takes, more angles. Yeah, it would just be so much better if I do it again. But this has been, how long we've been running? This is quite a long video. Please do check out Kelvin and Gary's channel. I'll link it in the description. And please, please, please comment and let me know what you thought about this first attempt of a live performance video. If my channel and this kind of content is something that is interest to you and you're enjoying it, please do give me a thumbs up, and please do consider subscribing and liking. Thanks very much for watching.